Hello, LHCS Chess Club. This is a place where you come to learn how to play chess. I'm glad you're here to this video. If you're here, it means that you've already understood all the different kinds of pieces, where they start on the board, and their names and how they move. And now, the next video, we're going to look at the different pieces to see how much they are worth. So remember when I told you this game is all about just trapping the king. If you can put the other kings, if your opponent's king is in checkmate, you win the game no matter what. So remember that. But that being said, some pieces are more valuable than other pieces. So if there comes to a point in this game where you might want to trade one piece for another piece, it's good for you to know how valuable they are so that you can make an informed decision on how you should use your pieces. So we're going to go through each piece, and I'm going to give each one a number value. Okay, so amount of points. So of course we have our king. The king does not have a number value because he is the most important. He's really clumsy and slow, and he's actually the weakest piece and the most vulnerable piece, because if he's trapped, then your game is over and you lose. But he has no value because he is the king. He is of ultimate value. Every other piece will have a number. So starting with the pawn, you have 8 of them, and each one is worth 1 point. Okay, so they're worth 1 point. They're the lowest ranking piece. They can be very powerful, especially when they work together. And remember, if they get to the other side, they have a superpower that nobody else has. But they are only worth 1 piece, or 1 point rather. Moving on, we're going to look at the bishop. The bishop is quite powerful. Remember, he moves diagonally, and he can be really effective. He is worth 3 points in this game of chess, generally speaking. He's really good, especially when the board is really open. So he's worth 3 points, and that is equal to the same as 3 pawns. The 3 pawns is kind of the same thing as 1 bishop in terms of points. Moving on, we're going to look at the knight. The knight also is very effective because he has special powers like jumping over pieces and moving in a weird pattern. And he is also 3 points in the game of chess. So the bishop and the knight are similar in value. They're both very powerful, and they both have points of 3. The bishop's really powerful when the board's really open, so he can stretch the whole board. The knight is probably more powerful when the board is really crowded, because he can jump around and be really cool in that way. So 3 and 3, and we're going to move on to the rook. The rook is the second most powerful piece. The rook is worth 5 points, so 2 more points than a knight and a bishop. He is very powerful, especially when he can work with another rook like that, or maybe another queen like this, as they can work together. So if you're going to trade a rook, make sure it's worth your while. So if you had 1 bishop and 1 knight, you can see how this is worth 6 and this is worth 5. So the 2 of these are worth just a little bit more than that guy. Okay, moving along, last but not least, here's the queen. The queen is worth the most, and she has a number value of 9. 9 points. So that's just a little bit less than 2 rooks. The queen is worth 9 points. She's extremely versatile and powerful, so you need to hold on to her as best as you can. So that means 1 queen is worth the same as 1 bishop, 1 knight, or let's say 2 bishops and 1 knight. So if you're going to trade your queen away, make sure it's worth your while. You probably should try not to do it because she's really powerful, unless, of course, you're going to put them into checkmate. So that is a legend. Pawn is worth 1 point. Bishop is worth 3 points. Knight is worth 3 points. Rook is worth 5 points. And a queen is worth 9 points. And the king is invaluable. He's priceless, but he's really clumsy. And that is the end of our video. I hope you learned something. See you next time.